Hello, welcome to DJBFITS. I'm DJ, and welcome to the channel.
You just gotta get out there and create.
This has been a long time in the making. I've tried my hand at YouTube a couple of times, but it wasn't until I really went fully commitment mode into my Instagram this year that I now am in the place where I really can create and commit to this channel. At the current moment, my DJBFITS page on Instagram is sitting at 15.7K, which is super exciting. Day of recording this is May 9th. I started to revamp DJBFITS in December of 2021. Toward the end of the year, I was having so many shoots that I wasn't posting on my personal page because I knew that people there were less interested in that. I started DJBFITS in high school because that exact reason was I know that the people I know in real life might not be interested, but there's a community out there that is. So let me find it. I started to, but then I let that go throughout my 4 years of college. When I came back in December, it was rough because I had so many photos to post and I had this perfect grid lined up and the plan for the next 50 posts and all this stuff, and I got about 12 posts in with this like perfect feed look, and it just wasn't organic. It was so scripted and it didn't feel right, and it wasn't allowing me to post at the frequency that I should be posting. After the first couple of months of posting pretty much daily, whether it was reels or feed posts, almost every day on the story, I had gotten practically nowhere. February rolls around, finally crossed 2,000. I started it again at about 1,800, so that's not very far. And then right after that point, I had a couple of reels that started to go viral. This reel is the first reel to crack 10,000 on this page. So we've got K next to that one. It's sitting at 14.6, which is really cool. So thank you guys. The posting every day has made a difference. And then the page just took off. Like I've always dreamed of it taking off. What was good about it too was it wasn't some sudden one video gets 1 million views and then the rest flop. It was this steady growth where the videos were baseline 3,000 views, baseline 5,000 views. And there's fluctuations always. I still have videos that will flop. Then I started to have videos that were doing 10, 20, 50, 100K. That's when the steadiness that I could count on anytime I opened my phone, there being a flood of notifications. The reason why I'm starting this YouTube channel is one, to help other content creators and people who do the things that I do be inspired to do this. A lot of people want to pave their own destiny and are capable of, but society and maybe the people around them are telling them that they shouldn't, or that they can't, or that it doesn't make sense, or I don't understand what you're trying to do. I'm here to tell you that it does make sense, that it is possible. For me, seeing a few content creators who have done it, who have done the 30K per post brand type of deals, who have done the 3-month contracts with a brand where they're getting product, they're doing videos, they're doing all kinds of things, and they're beyond full-time as a creator. It's a beautiful thing and it's possible. The fact that I've seen it possible made me feel so motivated to get out and actually create, actually make a life that I want. To many, that'll sound dramatic, but to you, the reason why you're viewing this video, and if you've seen my other videos, now you're coming back to see how it all started, you get it. You understand what the point of this is, and you want a life that not a lot of your friends or family or people that you know have, because that's how I feel, and that's how I felt when I started this. So welcome to the family, welcome to the channel, welcome to the community here. I am so excited. There's going to be lots that I'm going to share, from photography tips, video tips, Instagram tips. I just said tips a lot, but there's a lot that I have to share. The ins and outs, from photo editing to video editing to reels creations to building your own website to selling presets or products, creating brand deals and having all of these things, what it's like to have a contract, how to feed people into an email list, how to build a logo, how to make a media kit, how to have a brand spreadsheet where you're able to be efficient and really run this as a business. All of these topics, things that you can clearly see I'm very excited about. So I'm so pumped to put you on and to share the journey with you, because it's been really fun documenting that as a daily thing on Instagram, and to now be able to have more longer form conversational content here is just everything that I've always wanted. I am a avid consumer of YouTube. I watch YouTube more than I watch Netflix or any other platform that's out there. So I'm really excited to have content that lives here and have valuable content that can really help the community of people who want to live this life, who want to create this type of content, grow. Before I send you off to the next video, I want to share a little bit about who I am so that it can contextualize more of what my content is, whether that's on Instagram or more videos here, and so that you can get to know me and we can get to know each other, because that's how community is built, is by really getting to know each other, being vulnerable, being personal, and sharing stories with each other. So I'll give a little bit about my story. My full name is Dennis Juan Cruz Biersack. I am half Chamorro and half German and Polish. My mom is from Guam. My dad grew up in Ohio, and then he was in the Navy, met my mom when he was in Guam, and then they shortly moved to Ohio after, and then came out to Oregon. Lived here for a couple of years, had me, moved up to Washington, so I grew up in a suburb just south of Seattle. It's called Federal Way. That's where I went to a small little K-8 Catholic school, went to a fairly small Catholic high school in Tacoma, and then I moved to Portland to do my undergrad in marketing at the University of Portland. I always knew that I was going to study business. My dad was in business, and then my freshman year he actually started his own business that I am very actively helping with. I help with all of the media and marketing for that as well. In January of this year, I started my own consulting company where I do marketing for small minority-owned businesses. That's super important to me. Even though I am an average white-looking male, I am trying to take more ownership of my culture and put on for the Chamorro culture and everybody back home on Guam, because that's something that means a lot to me. I grew up mostly with those customs around the house because my mom was a stay-at-home mom for most of my life. And so the customs, the food, some of the language, all of these things were really the core of my childhood and the core of my culture. And so I feel like it's really important for me to put on for the culture and me to share that with other people, because Guam is a really small island. It's 32 miles long in the Pacific. Sometimes it's hard to even see on most maps. I feel blessed that I'm able to come from there. I feel blessed that my mom is one of 17 children. She has 8 brothers and 8 sisters, all from the same set of parents, and just a really unique family that I was fortunate enough to come up in. I'm really excited to share my background with you and the things that I've learned that have made me who I am today, to be able to help inspire you to create. That if you are a mixed person of color, or somebody who comes from a place that most people don't know, or that you've never seen somebody like you in the media before, that you can look at that as the inspiration to do it yourself. Because with this, and with a camera and a computer and some very simple tools that most of us have, you can change your life and you can make it the way that you want. To go a little bit more into my background of how I got into this, the fashion and photography and things, I had always been interested in it. But because I had a uniform for 9 years of schooling, I couldn't really express my style, and so I would always change out of it first thing when I would get home and try and get an outfit on, but I wasn't really able to express myself too much. The free dress days were amazing. Anybody who went to a school with a uniform understands that when you were able to wear jeans or whatever, that it was a special day. So I was able to express my style on those days, but it wasn't quite to the extent of being able to really dress. My high school did have a dress code, so I had to adhere to that, but I was able to start to dress a little bit more of how I wanted to. And it was really my junior year. I played basketball at my school for my freshman and sophomore year. And then my junior year, I was like, I don't have to adhere to any standard, any norm, anything. And so I was really excited about that. I started to really get into it. I was avid consumer of Instagram and men's fashion and things like that. Before I really got into fashion, I was big into sneakers. I had a big collection in high school. I probably had 40, 50 pairs at one point. Lots of Jordans, lots of other Nikes and other limited sneakers that I would go after. I never paid over retail. I wasn't a hype beast, but I was always on eBay looking for deals or get things on consignment. That was a big part of who I was. So that was a natural segue to being really interested back in 2016, 17 when I was a junior and senior. That was when the sneaker photo culture was at, I think, its peak. I mean, you were seeing the photos of just the shoes on your Instagram feed like crazy. Well, I was like, I want to get into that. And so I would try sometimes. I'd get my tripod out and I'd get my phone and put it on self-timer and stand like outside of my backyard, try and take pics. I didn't have a camera and I didn't have anybody to take my photos, so I did the best I could with the tools that I had. That's a big theme that I want to push on this channel, is to make something extraordinary out of the ordinary. That when I started this, it was just my phone and the tripod on self-timer, but I was dedicated to it. It was something that I really wanted to do, so I would just go around my neighborhood and I'd do it. Sometimes I'd pull my little sister in and be like, can you get this picture? And luckily she developed into a great photographer, but in the early days, it was tough to get the types of photos that I wanted, especially with the iPhone 6 or whatever the heck it was at the time. Quickly, I started to just do my best to get the photos out there. And I made a separate page so that I didn't have to tell anybody, I didn't have to be self-conscious about it, and I didn't tell a soul up until I graduated high school. And so with that page, I was able to post freely, be myself, and share those ideas. And that was a beautiful thing. I felt like I was doing something I always wanted to do, even though I was 16, 17 years old. And then in the fall of my senior year, I found somebody on Instagram who was reposted by either Complex or some Hype Beast or some other big page. I saw that they were from the Northwest, and when I clicked onto their page, I actually saw that they were from Seattle. And so I just followed him, and then shortly after I shot him a message. Little 16-year-old me, I was like, I don't even know how old this guy is, but I shot him a message anyway. It was like, hey, would love to link up and shoot if you'd be down. He was super cool. He was like, yeah, I'm down, let's do it. While my mother was very skeptical of it, as she should be, her 17-year-old son going to meet some stranger on the weekend that he just met on the internet, I just asked her to trust me, and thank God that she did, because then I met him and he taught me the foundations of photography and being in front of the camera too. While he wasn't some world-class model, he was just a normal guy like me who wanted to take photos of his sneakers and his outfits. For the next year, all throughout my senior year, my outlet was getting together with my friend Dan. Even though he was 28 and I was 17, he didn't treat me like a kid. He treated me like a brother, and he taught me like a brother. I learned how to be in front of the camera. I learned how to operate a camera. I learned how to drive in a busy city. I'd always gone downtown with my family, but I had just got my license at the point that we met. So this is a really unique time. And so I learned so much from him. Spring break my senior year, I got a camera because my family was going to Hawaii and I wanted to document that trip. After that, I was like, I can really get into this. So then I did, and then I moved to Portland to do my undergrad in marketing. I stopped posting on my DJBFITS page, but I started to shoot, and a couple of the people that I met were into it, not quite to the extent that I wanted to be. So then the 4 years of college, it died off a little bit. When COVID hit, I stayed in Portland, and one of my best friends, Kat Yo, she was in Portland as well. And I knew she was a photographer, and we'd started to get to know each other as friends a little bit that year, but I didn't really know how into it she was. And then all of a sudden we went on a shoot, and it was magic. I understood in that moment, she has the vision. That summer we were shooting once or twice every week. We were going in and just honing the craft and having the best time. And then throughout 2021, we worked to start our own brand and worked to launch that, and we were doing shooting and brand development and all that. And that died out after I graduated in December and she was still in school, but it was still an amazing project. And then I kept shooting a little bit, and then that summer after we graduated, then I started to get back into it with some of my buddies. I got Marcos into photography. He got into it so quick, and then we would go and shoot. Sage and I would shoot, and then Kat and I really reconnected that August. And so since then, we have been shooting. The fall was crazy, the winter was crazy, and we've continued it in all the way through the new year. So I am so excited about what I have been doing the past few months and building this page and being able to put on for my family, my friends, and my culture is something that's so important to me. So that's a brief background of who I am and how I got into this. There's more details that I can go into, but to keep this video short enough for you, that's all I'm gonna say. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below because I'd love to chat with you. I'm gonna answer every comment and question, and make sure to follow me on Instagram because that's where I'm active on a very regular basis. Every day I'm there. You can follow me and see what's going on and hopefully get inspired by what I create there and the long form content that I begin to create here. So thank you so much for watching this video. It would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel. So follow this journey, hit the like button below, and I will see you in the next video. This one right here will be a really good one that you can watch. Check that out. Hopefully you can learn something, and then again, go out, create content, and make something extraordinary out of the ordinary. My name is DJ. I'll see you in the next video.